Hello my darlings, it's Zooey here, and today I'm delivering to you my first Hawks story. Hawks is an interesting character that I went from liking to hating to liking again. Yay! I hope you enjoy the story just as much as I enjoyed writing it. But before I dive right into it, I would like to remind you to watch the video until the end, like or dislike, and comment something down below. This way you help me out with the YouTube algorithm. And that just means that more people may watch my videos, and you stop commenting, "Hey, you're underrated, Zoe." Also, if this is the first video that you're watching of me, hi. If you consider subscribing, would you mind please watching one or two other of my videos before doing so? I would greatly appreciate that. And if you are already a subscriber of mine, I have recently uploaded a couple of videos that haven't gotten a lot of views, so there's a high chance that you haven't seen them yet. So I highly recommend them, because every story I write has, so to speak, the Sui2LP seal of approval, and all of them are, if the like to dislike ratios are to be believed, incredibly well written, so please give them a chance. One more thing, fan art is always appreciated. I have a Discord, link is down in the description, and if you post it there, I can immediately react to it. So the last thing would be that you could maybe share my videos around. Appreciate that, you know, put it on Twitter or TikTok or something like that. But anyways, I hope you enjoy the show. Let's get right into it. Rank 2. That was something you couldn't believe. It was magical. Not only was he your first gig as an upcoming hero manager, but also he was such a nice guy. If things would keep going like they are now, you'd definitely extend your contracts with him. You just hoped you were doing a good enough job for him to want to stay with you. You were up and coming, just like him, and he had charmed you the moment you two made first eye contact. With your help, support, and ideas, you had given him a blueprint to become one of the best. But that he would become number 2 this quickly. Admittedly, it wasn't your exceptional management skills, but more the retirement of the previous number 1 hero, All Might. But the fact alone that your guidance prevented him from drifting down in the hero ranking was big to you. In fact, not just you. A magazine for business class heroes like you had wanted to interview you since you had gotten the job under Takami. And even during the festivities, while Hawks was still on stage, journalists were coming after the both of you. You gave them quick and short answers, just enough for them to be satisfied, but not enough to send them running. To you it was clear. The path to the number 1 was laid down not just by heroics, but also how the media portrayed said heroics. Saving children from a burning building? Make sure that the right one-liners get spoken in the direction of the media, and instantly the normies watching would forget the fact that firefighters, police, and other heroes were even present. It was your goal to emulate the media coverage of the former number 1 hero, All Might. A man so legendary that him simply hitting a giant puddle of slime made news for an entire day. After the situation calmed down to the point where you could safely order them to leave, you turned around, walking backstage into the VIP lounge reserved for Hawks. He was dozing off on one of the black leather couches they had provided. But upon hearing you close the door, his ears twitched, and he turned to look at you. He had a wide smile on his face. "The vulture's satisfied?" You walked over to the couch in front of his and sat down, with your legs crossed. Smiling, you said, "They're satisfied." He sighed loudly and leaned further back into the recliner, putting both hands behind his back. Did I ever tell you how much I hate this? You giggled. You did? He was quiet for a moment, then looked to his right. There's some wine. He nodded into the direction of an ice-filled bucket that you only just now noticed standing right next to him. I don't drink on the job. He blinked. That's very responsible. But he furrowed his brows. You're actually serious? You nodded, and he sighed again. Well, I tried. You tilted your head. Tried what? He shrugged. The less you know, the better, he said jokingly. Understanding it was one of his weird mannerisms, you ignored the creepy implications. His gaze focused on you. He reached for the bottle and opened it, as if to demonstrate that he didn't tamper with the drink. He took a deep swig. After putting the wine back, he smiled. Now that we are here, and casual, what's your favorite drink? You bit your lower lip. It's really stupid, you said and blushed. Normally, whenever he tried to switch the subject to something not business-related, you were able to talk your way out, as there were other people usually present. Now that you thought about it, the amount of times you had actually spent with the pro-hero alone were rather brief. Why did he need you in the first place, though? He improvised his public speeches, and his one-liners were, even though sometimes inappropriate, still on point. Why did he need you again? You blinked. Oh yes, drink. Hawks was looking at you with an amused grin. You blushed. I really like sex on the beach. He chuckled. Remind me what's in that again. Shrugging, you replied. Cranberry nectar, mixed with vodka, peach liquor, and orange juice. Your blush intensified. Why was he asking you that? You look confused, he said with a confident smirk as he stood up and began walking back and forth. A feeling of unease overcame you. Did I do something wrong? He shrugged. I'm number 2. You got the vultures off my wings? So, no, not really. Suddenly he was behind you and you slowly got out of your chair as your heart began to beat faster. What is this about then? Within 2 steps he was right up your face. I wanted to thank you. He spoke softly. Thank me? Then why was he acting so strange? And I wanted to tell you something. He kept pushing further into your personal space, forcing you to take several steps behind you. Tell me what? You stuttered as a bead of sweat ran down your forehead. You had to admit, when you first got this job, you were overjoyed. Not only because the, at the time, number 3 hero was interested in you being his manager, but also because you were completely crushing on him. In a way, you had been glad that your private moments were so far between. It kept you from fangirling. You hit a wall behind you and he put his elbow above your head, leaning close to your face. I don't need you, he whispered. I don't need anyone, really. He paused and you blushed harder. Well, I don't need a babysitter, I mean. He shrugged. Sure, I hate dealing with the press, but that's manageable. He gulped. What was happening? Hawks licked his lips seductively. From the moment I saw you, I wanted you on my team simply because I wanted to proposition myself. Your eyes widened. I find you smoking hot. He tilted his head almost mockingly. And I wanna fuck your brains out. Your blush reached a point where you were almost as red as your favorite drink. Why, no. Your stutters were charming him even more. Was this why he hired you? To be his personal chew toy? Almost as if he was reading your mind, he continued, by dramatically turning away from you. But alas, if you don't want to, there is nothing I can do. He made a pose similar to that of an anime character during a moment of tragedy, which was only made more ridiculous and borderline comedic by him flapping his wings to underline the melodrama. No, Instantly he was back up in your face. Yes? I was your biggest fan before I took this job. You admitted. And, I mean... You groaned. Is it getting hot in here? You gasped. His eyes turned to slits as he grinned smugly at you. I like you too, you said, and a smile widened. So you wouldn't mind if I... He whispered as his face approached yours at a painfully slow speed. It was obvious to you that he wanted to tease you to the point of complete meltdown. But if he wanted that, he underestimated your patience. You remained still, only able to hear his even breaths and your erratic heartbeat. And finally your bodies collided, pressed together in a heated exchange of passion. You could taste your shared breaths, feel the thud of your combined heartbeats. His lips tasted like the wine he had just drunk mere minutes ago, as his tongue casually parted your lips. A dizzying feeling clouded your brain, and your eyes rolled back. Your hormones reached a new height upon feeling his warm hands exploring your body. You were wearing a rather slim business casual suit. Initially, you had wondered why he wanted you to wear it. It was just enough for the public to not be distracted, but still short and tight enough for a pervert like him to find enjoyment in. Your legs felt like jelly, and as you felt his tongue snake deeper into your mouth, and one of his curious hands vanished under your skirt, you fell into him. Taiko expected something like that. You always were a little bit on the lighter side of things, though. So he caught you in his strong arms, holding you like a freshly married bride, and you hid your face behind your hands in shame, squealing and squirming, unable to process what was happening to you. Not that you minded. Having a guy like him, not only as your client but also as boyfriend, was definitely something that would go well with his carefree shtick to the press. So was it really that selfish of you to accept his temptations?